Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Katja and this time I'm making an Iron Age apron with a lot of fancy metal decoration. The Iron Age aprons weren't anything but a boring practical piece of fabric to keep one's clothes clean. I bought this wool twill fabric from the historical fabric store. It's a bit finer and a bit more felted than the perfect fabric would be, but it will do its job. The blue color was expensive but very popular in a festive apron such as this during the Iron Age. First, I cut a rectangle of 42 cm by 110 cm and hemmed the long edges with a narrow hem. The Iron Age fabrics were woven to size. To mimic the look, I wanted to finish the short ends with a tablet woven band. This kind of band was used for both starting and the finishing edge during the Iron Age. First, I needed to unravel about 4 to 5 cm from each end. This was very slow work as the yarns kept breaking and felting together. I even tried to use my straightening iron to keep the tangling in control. I bought hand-dyed indigo yarn from Mermi Pasanen, who is an enthusiastic costumer and has written several books about Iron Age Finnish dress and tablet weaving. The book, Löydöstä muinaispuvuksi, that she wrote with Jenni Sahramaa, gave me directions throughout this project. To make the tablet woven edge, I first had to make the warp. I tried to make the warp smartly by threading the yarns through the whole deck of cards, but finally I had to still red thread 1 or 2 cards as threads were coming from the wrong side. Here I am arranging the cards to the right order. The centermost cards have 2 yarns each and the edge cards have 4. Having 2 yarns for each card adds difficulty as the tablets tend to turn to their corner and the right position of the tablets gets easily disturbed. I learned this the hard way. Anyway, I'll start the weaving process with some scrap yarn to get the band started. Then I start the actual band from the hem. I take 4 yarns and use them as weft. I turn the cards and then tuck the yarns tight. Then I'll take those same 4 yarns and weave them back to the wrong side of the fabric. The ends form a fringe to the wrong side. I'll go through the whole edge this way. However, I didn't notice that some of my tablets had turned to the wrong position right at the start of my weaving. This meant that the result I got wasn't exactly right. On the second time around, I actually know what I'm doing. Okay, now I've managed to finish the both sides. I had to do the first side again because first I wove it the wrong way, so that I made sort of cross-grain ribbon kind of weave, which made it a bit too tight. And another thing is that I folded the fringe to the wrong side, or I did fold it to the wrong side, which means that when the final apron is going to be folded over the belt, the fringe wouldn't be hidden. So I had to painstakingly rip away the binding I had just made and weave another one. Well, it only took a few hours, so it wasn't that bad. Now I have this fringe left here, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cut it short. Then I need to finish these edges, and then I have to deal with these. Now, I did mention the heavy metal and the bling, right? The Iron Age women liked to wear their riches on their apron. This is a very good thing for us, as the copper in bronze is poisonous to the bacteria that would otherwise have destroyed the fabrics in the Iron Age graves. The decorations were made out of bronze or brass spirals. There are many different apron finds found with a varying level of decoration. The poorest women only had spiral decorations at the corners of the apron. Then some women threaded spirals to a core that was sewn around the apron edge. The richest apron decorations found are wide geometric bands that must have been very heavy. As bronze fire is hard to get, I settled for brass. The Finnish word vaski refers to both bronze and brass anyway. Making spirals is pretty easy. You only need a drill and an old knitting needle. I also used this wooden box to stabilize the knitting needle. I drilled a small hole to the knitting needle to anchor my wire. Then I could use the drill to twist the wire into a spiral. Of course, during the Iron Age, some sort of crank would have been used, but this method is faster. The amount of wire needed for all those spirals was much bigger than I estimated. I had bought only 6 meters of 0.8mm jewelry brass wire, and I spent that in a few minutes. Then I went to a proper hardware store and bought 50 meters of brass wire. And I used that too. Finally, I had to go back to buy another 50 meters. To make the corner fan decoration and the edging, I cut the spiral tubes into about 2 cm pieces. I used pliers to neaten the ends and then used the ends of my tablet woven band to make the fan-like corner decorations. This also hid the ends nicely. I made a long cord out of wool yarn and then threaded it through the rest of the 2 cm long spirals. Then I sewed the cord to the edge of the apron. The ends of the cord were easily hidden inside the hems of the long edges. Now begins the most fun part. I made more spirals, and these will make nice applique decorations. In order to fasten the spirals to each other, I need to make gaps for the spiral. One can and probably should use a knife, but I found it easiest to use my fingernails that are pretty strong and didn't even take damage. I also made smaller spiral beads by cutting about 5mm long spiral tubes. I'll now place 2 of these pieces and align the gaps. If done correctly, these should click into each other like two Legos. The wires connecting the gaps should make a little cross across the gap. I'll make a grid using 6 pieces, then I use wool yarn to fix everything in place. I'll add small spiral beads to the edges at the same time. Now I can add the ornaments in place. To wear the apron, you'll need a belt. The upper edge of the apron folds over the belt. And the second round of belt keeps the fold securely in place. Thank you so much for watching, and please comment and subscribe to my channel. See you later. Bye!